welcome to Mike's Trains, and thanks for joining me for another video. Last week we talked about the platforms and I showed you how I built them. So now I want to go a step further and we're going to build the ends of the platform. These are my three platforms, and I actually went through in the last couple days and I got mine all built. So they're all here, they're all done. The only thing I haven't done is, you can see this one has the holes drilled for the roof that goes in it right here. So we're gonna forget about that for right now. But I didn't drill that on these two platforms just because I haven't gotten that far yet. What I want to do this week is talk about this end of the platform. This is the escalators and the elevator that are going to go up to the floor above this. And I built this today. It's not too bad. I think I actually pulled off what I'm looking to do, and I think it came out pretty good. So what I want to do is talk about a little bit and show you how I built this. Let's see. This platform here gets done exactly like this one. So we'll have this here in the center, and then this end platform right here just gets an elevator because there's not enough room for the stairs, the escalators to fit. So let's get this stuff out of the way here and we'll start working on getting this built on this platform. Okay, so here's what we have. We have our platform. I use this cardboard just to keep the glue from getting all over my pad here. I don't like it getting stuff on there, so I use this. And these are all the parts we're going to need to build it. Now I've pre-cut. This is 60,000 styrene. I cut them out of a sheet of styrene. And these are the two sides right here of the escalator. Okay, which look like that. Then I have the full back piece. I have the three sides of the escalator right here. I have the escalator stairs, and then these are some parts that are going to go to the stairs to get that built. So the first thing we want to do is we want to take this backing, and this is going to go right onto this piece here. So we're going to glue that in place. Okay, so this isn't going to go all the way across. It's going to be a little bit short, and that's what we want. We'll put a little bit of glue there, and I just want to make sure that this is square and straight. Oh, see, it just fell down. So let's make sure that this is square and straight to the platform. So we're going to do one of these and put this in here like that. We have our curb that comes down here. Now this curb, this wall, I want it to come up to the curb because I'm going to add another small little piece of curb that goes right past this wall to make this curb continue. So I'm bringing this wall even to the main body of the platform underneath. Okay, so we'll let that dry. So now we have that on there. Now we can take one of these bases here and turn this a little bit like this, and this piece here is going to go right here like this, right into place just like that. So let me turn this so I can get to it, and then we're going to put that into place. And now once again we want to put a square on this to make sure that that is squared up, and I think we have it right there. So that's just like that. And then we'll run some glue down the other side. Okay, now as you can see on the end here, this back wall, there's a little bit extra here, and that's fine. That's what I'm looking for. Alright, we're going to leave that, and then we'll add another small piece of the curving here right to the end of this, just like the other side over here, right in here. So now let's put this to the side, and we're going to assemble the stairs. Now the stairs, there's a little bit more involved with these, because it's a whole assembly in itself. So what we have are the stairs, and I bought these stairs. These are made by Plastruct. This is what we're looking at here. Alright, I bought a few sets of these, and they work really good. I like them. I've used them before. I used them in the roundhouse. But when you open up the pack, what you get is you get 2 stairs in a pack right here. But these are actually obviously injection molded, because you can see where the parch tree were hooked onto those. So you got to cut that little bit off. So I'm going to take my flat blade and just trim that right off of there. Okay, so now what we need is this styrene strips. Now I have some of these. These are 40 thousandths thick by 0.156. 0.156 in width. So we're going to take these, and I'm going to cut these off a little bit longer than the stairs. So we're going to take this. I'm just going to cut them just a little bit longer than the stairs. And we're going to need 3 of them. Now we have all of our 3 strips. Okay. Back to the glue again. We're going to run it right down the side of the stairs. And then we're going to put a strip. You know, make sure we got the stairs turned the right way. We're going to put a strip right down the side of the stairs. So now we have one here, and you have to look at these because the stairs do go. They have a top and a bottom, and I'm taking the heavy end step and I'm running it to the top. Alright, so we're going to do that for that one. And just so you know, this is the center. So now we need to do one on this side. So we're going to do another strip on this stair right here. So all I'm doing is just making sure that the side piece here, right here, is flush with the bottom of the stairs. So that's glued on there. So now we have right here, we effectively have a left and a right. Okay. So now we're going to take a third strip and we're going to run it down the top. So now we're ending up with a piece like that. And then we're going to glue the other stair to that. Okay, so there's our escalator stairs. Go like that. And I know they're not even on the bottom, but not to worry. We have to trim that and the top as well. So we're going to let that sit for a few minutes and let that set up again. And then we're going to move on back to the platform. Okay, so that sat for a few minutes, and while that was drying, I started trimming the stairs here to fit. So what I've done is I've cut a huge miter on this end, alright, and then I started trimming off the stair treads up at the top end. So when you're looking at this, the stairs are going to go over here, and they're going to go right up. I have a line marked right on the base right in here, right at the bottom. I marked off squares. So on these squares, I counted in 1, 2, 3, 4 squares. So the fourth square, and I marked a line. I marked a line right here, so I know where we're going, and that's where the stairs themselves need to end up. So now I've trimmed back and I marked off the top, and now we have to cut off the rest of this assembly at the top. So I'm just going to use my sprue cutters, and I'm going to cut that right off. Now this top end we're not going to worry about. We just need the bottom to look right. So this goes like this, just like this, right into place. Like that. And then I still need to cut off the top of this piece here. We need to level that straight off. So this is the way that's going to fit. And then let me cut that off, and then we'll move on. So to cut that off, we're just going to do one of these. Okay, so now that fits in there like that. We don't want to glue it just yet, because at this point I still want to sand a little bit at the bottom of this. So I'm going to get out a little piece of sandpaper like this, and I'm just going to grind off a little bit of the back corner of this. I think we're pretty good like that. So that's going to go in just like that. So now we can take some glue, like that, and we're just going to tack that right into place. So now we have another side to this. Now we have to put on this side. So here's our other piece. Now we're going to take this piece and fit this right in here, like that. So now we have the escalator in place. You can see how that goes. Now we have a gap down here at the bottom right here. Not going to worry about that right now. Now we want to get this elevator into place. So that's just a matter of, I have these three sides here. So we're going to take one, put it on the inside here, which means we're going to run some glue all around here, and run this right in here. Now when I'm putting this piece in right here, I'm putting it up to the curb. I'm not covering the curb. I want that curb to show. So we're going to push that like that, and then we're going to glue that right into place right there. Okay, so there's our elevator bay right there. Alright, so now all that's on. We have one more piece to put onto this that's going to go down the front. Now this is more to build up some height on the top of this centerpiece. Now I tried to do a centerpiece with the same curve as this to come down the center. But this stuff will bend however you want it, but I just couldn't get it to work, so we're just going to lay a flat piece on top. And I have seen escalators like this with just a metal center. So I'm going to chalk it up to that's what lives in my world. That's 90% there. We have all of our sides. Alright, so now this is all done. Now we're going to do the door the elevator door. Now what I have for that, I have this very thin styrene. This is left over from a kit I did, and this is the styrene that comes for the roofing. It's very bendable, it's very thin. With this, it actually works out perfectly for the roof. I mean for the doors. It's easy to cut. Now I'm doing these doors at 4 feet wide. It's a double door. So what I'm doing is I'm going to set this on my end scale ruler, put it on the 4 foot mark, and I'm going to mark it at 0, so it's right there. And then we're going to come up at this end and mark this end the same. So for 4 scale feet, right there. And then we're going to cut this off. This is going to make our doors. Okay, so now we want these doors to be, I was a little torn between 6'8" is your standard door height and 7 feet. So I think we're going to go with 7 foot door height. So back up to the scale ruler again. And we're going to mark this off for 7 feet. That's 5, 6, 7. Right there. And then we're just going to clip this off. So that's 2 doors. Now we need to split that in half. Now, you want to show these, emphasize that there's a seam in there, because if you just put them back together like this, you're never going to see them. You won't see the seam between the doors to know that it's a double door. So I'm going to take these pieces and I'm just going to sand off the leading edge on each door, and that will bring out the seam in the door. So now when you have these 2 pieces together, it makes a seam that you can actually see. So now we're going to take some more glue, and I'm going to eyeball this. I'm not going to measure it. Just going to put some glue right here. Now on these, I'm going to leave a little bit of space between them, just ever such a small space, like that, so that you can see when it's painted. We'll be able to see it's not really showing, but there's the small edge of a small hint of a seam in there, and then we'll emphasize that later when we paint. But now we need to get some a framework around those doors. Okay, so what I have for that, the frame around the door here, let's see if I can get some focus in here. I have this. This is 60 by 60, so it's completely square. And we're going to make a framework around that door. Okay, and there's our elevator doors. Now the only thing I did extra on the other one that I'm still going to do on this one is I took a small piece of that very thin plastic we made the doors out of, and I put a small panel right beside the door for the buttons to go up and down. Not that you're going to see it, but it's there, and I'm at a point now where I can actually add that stuff without too much trouble. So I'm going to take another piece of this little stuff here. I'm going to cut off a strip. And then we have this small little button panel here. I don't know if that's really showing on there or not, but it's there, and then what I'll do is I'll paint on some colored dots, maybe red and white dots on there to show the push buttons on the escalator, on the elevator rather. And that's it. That's how that all got built. That's how you do it, or how I do it. So that's what I'm going to go with, and the next step is going to be to paint it. And you know, we'll paint these doors here silver, this whole escalator will go silver, the stairs will go black, this hole here, this part here, these walls will all get painted like a concrete color. I think I may try and do a stucco on these to make them a little bit rough and actually separate them from the floor that this gets painted. So yeah, that's the thing. So that's 2 platforms done, and then the last one, which I'm not going to do on video because that one is pretty self-explanatory. This is the last platform, and that's going to get done much in the same way as the other stuff we just did, where I'll make a square box right here, probably be right about here. I originally had it here, puts it in the same line as the others, but I think I'm going to go a little bit further forward, maybe the next double square up, and that will give us the room to add this in here. And then I'll build the doors on the front just like I did the one we just finished. And that's the end of these platforms, and the next step would be to drill the holes for the roof, okay, the roof sections, and then to get these all painted and done with. And that's it. So until next time, happy modeling.